Is Sydney Sweeney about to flip Hollywood on its head? The rising star of Euphoria and The White Lotus isn't just making headlines for her acting anymore. From Bond girl rumors to billionaire investments and a high-profile breakup, Sydney is rewriting the playbook on how to become Hollywood's next true power player. And she's only just begun.
Please welcome the lovely Sydney Sweeney!
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I wish Alexa was here so that she could thank the amazing fans that we have because you all are so incredible.
Let's unpack how Sydney Sweeney went from small-town obscurity to potentially becoming the next face of the James Bond franchise, with Jeff Bezos and Denis Villeneuve quietly backing her every step of the way. And if that sounds surprising, just wait, it gets even wilder. So get comfortable, because Sydney isn't just stealing scenes. She might be stealing the entire spotlight. Let's start with the James Bond rumor that's currently lighting up Hollywood. Sydney Sweeney is now reportedly the top contender to be the next Bond girl. But this isn't the Bond franchise of the past. This is a full-blown reboot, directed by Denis Villeneuve, the visionary behind Dune and Blade Runner 2049. He's not looking for just another glamorous accessory. He wants someone gritty, physical, and culturally relevant. So why Sydney? Sources say her connection with younger audiences, her athleticism, and her rising global influence are all part of it. Not to mention, she and Villeneuve have been spotted deep in conversation at several industry events, including the Toronto Film Festival. She was also seen mingling with Ana de Armas, a former Bond girl who helped redefine the role in No Time to Die. And let's be clear, we're not in the 60s anymore. The Bond girl has evolved from eye candy to commanding force. Think a mix of atomic blonde, corporate strategist, and action hero. Sydney's emotional range, commitment to craft, and raw physicality put her in a prime position to take on that mantle. Would you watch a Bond film with Sydney as the lead female action star? Or should the franchise go in a completely new direction, perhaps with a female Bond altogether? One reason her name keeps coming up? Her dedication to physically demanding roles. For her upcoming film where she plays legendary boxer Christy Martin, Sydney didn't just train, she transformed. Kickboxing, weightlifting, brutal cardio. It was a full-body commitment, and she's not stopping there. Insiders say Villeneuve sees this as proof she's capable of delivering the kind of visceral performance modern Bond films demand. For context, Christy Martin once won a match fighting with a broken hand. That's the kind of resilience Sydney is channeling. But while her career surges forward, her personal life has shifted dramatically. Earlier this year, Sydney called off her engagement to longtime fiancé Jonathan Davino. The tabloids speculated wildly, but close sources say it was a clear decision. She was choosing career over comfort. Between filming schedules, business meetings, and brand partnerships, there simply wasn't room for a wedding. Of course, that hasn't stopped the dating rumors. Sydney was spotted dancing with Tom Brady at Jeff Bezos' Venice wedding and having what looked like deep personal conversations with Orlando Bloom. But according to reports, she's not romantically linked to either, at least not officially. Right now, she's focused on empire building. And let's be honest, how many people in their 20s are fielding calls from billionaires while landing major acting roles all in the same week? Speaking of empires, Sydney is making bold moves in business. She's currently developing her own lingerie line. And this isn't a vanity project. Backed by none other than Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez, this venture is being taken seriously. Their investment network brings global resources, elite designers, and deep market reach. This could become a billion-dollar brand in the making. Why lingerie? Because it's a multi-billion-dollar global industry, and Sydney has the reach to disrupt it. Just look at her previous collaboration with Frankie's Bikinis. That campaign alone generated millions in sales and dominated social media. If Kim Kardashian turned Skims into a fashion juggernaut, Sydney may be aiming to do the same, only with more edge. What should Sydney call her brand? Something classic like S+S? Or a bold nod to Euphoria? Then there was the viral soap campaign with Dr. Squatch. Most actors wouldn't touch a brand like that, but Sydney leaned into it. The cheeky, sexy ad turned heads and helped push the brand toward a $2 billion valuation. It wasn't just clever marketing. It was a masterclass in knowing your audience. And now that Unilever has acquired the company, Sydney's image may soon be seen globally in supermarkets, not just on movie screens. This is the power of branding in the age of influencer marketing. With Sydney involved, sales spiked and consumer data rolled in. Even Margot Robbie's Barbie campaign didn't deliver this kind of real-time conversion-focused engagement. Back to the Bezos wedding. That might have been the weekend that changed everything. While most people saw her appearance in Venice as just another celebrity cameo, insiders say her lingerie deal was quietly finalized there. Bezos and Sanchez reportedly gave the official green light, while Sydney met with fashion investors, tech moguls, and Hollywood dealmakers. It was less of a party and more like a board meeting disguised as a gala, and visually, the moment was powerful. Sydney and Italian couture, arm in arm with global icons. For her brand, her image, and her future, this was intentional optics. Now imagine this. If Sydney launches her lingerie brand in 2026 while starring in the new Bond film, that could be one of the most perfectly timed celebrity crossovers in history. Acting, branding, global domination. It all goes back to how she started. Sydney has never hidden her background. Her family struggled financially, and she said in interviews that failure wasn't an option. That drive, to succeed not just for herself, but for everyone who believed in her, is what keeps her working non-stop. She once told Empire magazine, "I thrive in chaos." And she wasn't exaggerating. She films, she trains, she negotiates business deals, and somehow still finds time to build her social presence. Now at just 27, she's made the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, is reportedly worth close to $40 million, and is locked in with major brands like Lingerie, Hey Dude, and Kerastase. She's even outpaced co-star Zendaya in total number of brand deals, though both remain at the top of their game. Will Sydney become Hollywood's next big mogul, or is she moving too fast, risking burnout or backlash? And here's the final twist. What if Sydney isn't just playing the Bond girl? What if she's the real star, the future of the franchise itself? Daniel Craig helped reboot Bond for a darker, more emotional era. Sydney could help usher in a new one, faster, younger, more business savvy, and fully in control. A character who owns her own brand, dictates her own career, and doesn't need saving because she's already winning. So let's end with this. Should Sydney be the next Bond girl? Would you wear her lingerie line? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you're impressed by Sydney's rise. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the stars, scandals, and industry shakeups taking over Hollywood right now. Because if we're entering the era of Sydney Sweeney, you don't want to miss what's next.